Alright, so it says find two angles, theta, on the unit circle with 0 to 2 pi. So we have a bit of a constraint. We are only looking at 0 to 2 pi, so 0 to 360 degrees, just in radians. So first thing, with A, we know the fact that sine theta equals negative 0.4. So similar to example 10, we just need to, first of all, figure out that angle by inversing it. So if I go sine minus 1, both sides, just do that with a different color. So therefore, theta is going to be sine inverse. And then if I just chuck it on the calculator. Now because our angle is in radians, just make sure your angle is in radians. So because we're looking at radians, we just want to make sure our calculator is in radians. Okay, so now I get negative 0.41. I'm just going to round it up to negative 0.41. Now you might be thinking, going, what do you mean? Angle can't be negative. But just wait, we're going to draw our unit circle to understand what it is trying to tell us. So we got our unit circle, and we need to understand what this negative 0.41 means. So what it's actually telling us is that angle we are looking at is backwards. So we've gone backwards. So, this is our 0, this is our pi over 2, this is our pi, this is 3 pi over 2, and then if we do a full revolution, it ends up at 2 pi. We're looking at that revolution. However, the answer that they have given us is when it's gone backwards. I'll show you in a second. So if I label first using South Australian Tennis Club, I should be able to kind of figure out which two quadrants I'm working with. So if my sine theta is a negative answer, let's have a look at where those answers are. So sines are going to be positive here. So my negative answer isn't going to be over here, it's going to be the other two. So there's going to be two answers that look something like that. Now, these are the angles we get when we put in the calculator, and this actually is the angle that we got. So that's negative 0.42. So what they have done is shown us, if you go backwards, that's the first angle you get. So the first angle is negative 0.41. But remembering that it's a periodicity, so all I need to do is just figure out what the next value would be from there. So easiest way to figure it out, if you really want to, you can, go backwards and figure it out, but easiest way is for you to think of it as this line as 2 pi and then just subtract that number 0.41, because, so first answer would be, so angle 1 would be 2 pi, take away 0.41, so if I do that on the calculator, 5.87. So what that is telling me is, if I draw with a different color, maybe, what that's telling me is that this angle is pi 1. I just found out. So because I kind of did a backwards calculation, I did, full revolution, take away that theta is going to give me 5.87. You could really, if you wanted to, add 3 pi over 2 and then figure out what 3 pi over 2 take angle is and then add that, but I just find that that's way more complicated. So the easiest way is to find the nearest reference point and then add it or subtract some thetas. Now the next angle we need to find is this angle. This angle over here. We're going to call that theta 2. So if I want to find that angle, all I need to do is go, okay, well, I know up to this much, that angle is pi, so I just have to add that theta amount to the pi. So all I need to do is go theta 2, so my second angle is going to be pi, because I'm going to go all the way up to here and then just add that extra amount, which is the theta that we have calculated, which is 0.41, because that angle was 0.41, so this angle must be 0.41 as well. So it's kind of looking at almost like treating it like geometry and then figuring out, okay, how much more do I have to add, etc. So that answer gives me 3.55. So my final answer is, therefore, theta can be 3.55 if I just write it in ascending order, or 5.87. Alright, let's give B a go. So same thing with B. I'm going to start off by figuring out what quadrant I'm going to have my answer. Actually, I'm going to inverse it to figure out the theta first. So if I inverse it, put it in the calculator. Now, I find it that these questions are hard if you don't draw diagrams, if you're kind of skipping it and going, yep, I understand, I'm just going to give it a go. I find it much easier if you're drawing diagrams. So really, ideally, every question you are doing, unless you're really real guru at imagining how this works in your head, I should be seeing a unit circle and some lines and some drawings. Okay, so again, I'm going to quickly label some key things. And South Australian Tennis Club. So again, my cos theta is a negative value, so I need to make sure I'm looking at certain spots. So my cos is positive over here and over here, so the negative values for cos is going to be over this one and this one. So those are the values we are looking for. So 2.3, let me just have a little bit of a look. So pi is 3.14. So the angle that they have given us is this angle. This angle is 2.3 radians. So all I need to do is make sure I can figure out, I guess the second angle I need to figure out is, I can use a different color, this angle. So if I want to find that angle, rather than trying to figure out how to find it, easiest way probably to approach it is just try to use that 2.3 and go, okay, well this is 2 pi full revolution. If I take away that same angle, 2.3 radians, that should give me that purple angle. So my first answer is the answer that they have given me, which is 2.3. My second answer is manipulated by doing 2 pi, take 2.3, which should be 3.98. So that should be my answer. So therefore my theta can be 2.3 or 3.98. Alright, let's have a go at C. Right, for C I know my tan theta is negative, so if I inverse it, I should get some, oop, what did I miss? So I get negative 0.32. Again, I get a negative, so I need to manipulate that further, but let's have a look at the unit circle first. So South Australian Tennis Club. So when my tan is a negative, so I look at this, not this, I look at the original question. When my tan theta is a negative answer, whereabouts am I looking at? So tan's positive here, so it's going to be looking at these two quadrants. So let's have a look. I'm going to draw some lines. Now negative 0.32 obviously is going to be that angle, so that angle is 0.32. So again, the first angle, in order to find it, we just go 2 pi and then take away that angle. So 0.32. Let's give that a go on the calculator. Take 0.32. So that gives me 5.96 degrees. So what that I found is that angle is actually that angle, that first angle. So that's my first angle, and all I need to do is find my second angle, which is on the other side. So I need to find this angle, and in order to find that, easiest way to do is, rather than trying to add it, subtraction might be easier. So you've got pi, that angle and that angle is exactly the same, so 0.32, just utilizing some idea of a parallel line. So 0.32 angle, so it would just be, second angle would just be pi, take away 0.32. Again, I just don't know how you would do this without drawing it. 2.82. So therefore, my answer is going to be 2.82 and 5.96. Okay.